I want to do a quick video on the Polk PSW108 subwoofer. It is a 10-inch subwoofer. It's more, let's just be honest, it's sort of a budget subwoofer. I looked at a bunch of videos on YouTube, as well as the customer ratings. People seem to like it, but I never really could get anyone to describe what the thing sounded like, at least in a video. So that's once I get this thing unboxed and set up, that's my intention, is to give you a description of what I think it sounds like. So let's get started. So I have hooked the subwoofer up, and I may have to do a little bit more adjusting. I started out with the volume, and that's where I've left it. I've left the volume at the midpoint on the subwoofer, and I ended up kind of cutting back the crossover, probably, let's say, down towards 50-60 hertz, somewhere in that area. That seems to work pretty good, at least with the speakers that I have. The speakers that I have, by the way, are Pioneer speakers. They're relatively inexpensive. They're Andrew Jones, what is it, FS52, and I'm actually quite happy with them. They sell for, well, right now they're $150 a piece on the Pioneer website, or you can think $300 a pair. But they're actually pretty good speakers, but obviously they lack the very deepest bass, and I like my bass. So, and I'll listen to it. I listen to all kinds of different music. Now, I'm going to include a little sample here of some organ music, and you just have to keep in mind that I'm recording it with my phone. So, and I actually listen to it through my headset here, and it sounds pretty good. I think there is some room interaction going on. I may need to move the subwoofer a little bit to, see if I can get rid of some of the room interaction, without going into a whole complicated explanation. You do get some room interaction going on with those really deep bass frequencies, because then it depends on the size of the room. certain frequencies can end up becoming overly accentuated because of you have this so-called room mode going on. So I may or may not have to. I'm pretty happy with the way it is right now, but I may or may not have to make that adjustment. But in any case, what are my thoughts about the subwoofer overall? Pretty happy with it. For $150, to my ears, it's sounding pretty good. Is it going to be the same as a much more expensive subwoofer? No. But I'm not cranking it up to ridiculous volumes. I think this Polk PSW108 is good as long as you have it in a small room and you're not trying to just come up to outrageously loud volume levels. And if you just want it to sound good, it sounds pretty good. And because I've had some, in the past, I've had at one point I think it might have been a really cheap Sony subwoofer, and it was just garbage. It the thing didn't really produce any deep bass, and the bass that it did produce was boomy. And I ended up eventually just giving it to my nephew. And that was from a long time ago, and since then and I have more expensive subwoofers in other parts of my house, but this particular setup in my dining room, I just wanted something to go along with those Pioneer speakers, and it ends up, I think it sounds decent. It's good enough. Sounds pretty good, and it gives those speakers the very bottom end that they just otherwise can't produce or have a really difficult time producing. So my verdict on the PSW Polk PSW108, thumbs up.